So good morning, all of you. I'll welcome you all to the today's market briefing session for the 23rd of Jan, Friday. So we'll start the session. My name is Anurag. I'm the Senior Client Success and Learning Manager, and we'll start the session today. The objective of today's session is to give you the clarity so that you can take very calculative and informed decisions. So without wasting the time, we'll start the session. First, we discuss the economic calendars or the economic events for today, that what are the important major events which are still pending to be released, and what are the events which have been released and how they have impacted the market. As we all know that gold and silver are trading at all-time high, and all the levels which we been discussing into our briefing sessions, the market is respecting those levels, right? And from now, the next all-time high is at above the psychological level of 5000, that is the 5000 level. And there is high possibility that although today is Friday, right? Today is the last day, but yes, high probability that it might test the 5000 level. But the reversal, which we have seen, like a correction for a quite a long time, quite a longer period of time, is going to come from the level of 5079, right? After that, I'm expecting the all-time high for this quarter to be at around 5129, right? From there, if we have a reversal, it is going to sustain for a very longer period of time. Reversal doesn't mean that the whole trend is going to change. That means after making this high, gold is going to trade within a specific range of time. And as per the calculation and the news which we are getting, all this news are indicating only a single thing, that this is the revaluation of gold is right now happening, and the new financial benchmark price for gold is going to above the 5000 levels, right? And yes, there is still the possibility that gold might go up to the level of $10,000 an ounce also, right? High possibility. So we'll discuss first the economic calendar. Just give me a minute. Let me share my screen. So I think my screen is visible to everybody. Just give me a minute. So the hmm. So this is 23rd Jan, right? Yesterday we've been discussing this data, that the PC data is very important, right? We discussed that personal income data is also very important. Now let's understand that how, because we have seen all of a sudden strong movement for the upside have came in the US session, and there is high possibility that because of this data have surprised the market, and that is the reason it have went up above, right? So first we see the initial jobless claim data, because it is very important, right? Apart from that, we have the speeches also, which is also impacting the market. So initial jobless claim, if I talk about, so previously it was 199K, and this time it's 200K. So minute increase in the jobless claim, right? And this data is not aligning with all the other data which we have discussed, that telling us that US economy is performing very good, everything is fine. But over here, the previous data showing that US economy is expanding, and this data is showing if they are expanding, then why there is a jobless claims are increasing, although it's only by 1K, but still, right? Then, if I move to the personal consumption expenditure, so we have seen a surge into the prices, so this is a good sign, right? Although this data is also important, that is the GDP to sales, right? Debt to GDP, this kind of data, but we are not going that deep into it. But yes, if you do that, you will gain a lot of insights, right? Especially debt to GDP is a very important factor. Then we have the consumer confidence flash. So previously it was 13.2 and then 12.4, right? Still, this is showing a pessimistic number, and still we have seen a sudden spike in the prices of the euro for the upside, right? So that means this data releases are not impacting the prices that much. but the geopolitical events and the speeches from different personalities are impacting too much, right? Moving ahead, we have the personal income, so there is decline on month basis, right? But for the month of October, for the month of November, yes, it might be a possibility because this data need to be released, right? In our previous months, right? Because of the US shutdown, they have increased. So market have already discounted those things. That is the reason we haven't seen that spike, and they've been expecting different, and market have given a different number, and that is the reason we have seen a sudden spike into the prices, right? So let's focus on the month of November. So personal income is increased. Previously it was 0.1%, then 0.3%. That means personal income is increasing, right? So it's a good sign, right? But yes, it is showing that people have disposable income, and the possibility of cutting the interest rate in the future is high, right? So this data is telling me that if you want to confirm this news, we need to go to the CME FedWatch tool and need to see that whether same kind of action or reaction we can see into the positions. So we'll see that also, right? Then the PC price index for the November month, it's almost constant, so nothing to surprise. Now come to our 4 week and 8 week bell auction. So yes, uh, a minute, that means 3 basis point of spike. Then over here also a minute spike, right? But yes, for a shorter period of time, US government is giving high interest, so they require more money. So we need to see that how this auction went, and from where we can see that we need to go to the Federal Reserve official website, right? And from there you can get the data that how many billions they have accumulated by doing the auction of this bill, right? So if lot of money is coming into the economy, so it's a strong sign for the US dollar, right? Yes, but personal income data is increasing. That is, the supply is at high, and there is probability due to this index is going to show all downward pressure. Right. Then we discuss about the natural gas, and I've told you to put natural gas into your watch list, and we have seen a very strong movement. Right. Still, that trend is under development. Still, we can ride that trend. Right. So and if we see, so over here we have the uh, natural gas data, right? Here, right? Okay, so it's been increasing, right, over here, if you can see. But if you see the gasoline stocks changes, so yes, previously it was 8.97, and right now it is 5.97. So that means the stock are depleting, right? So this might put pressure on the existing trends. That means if we seeing a big candle, so the current candle after this data is going to be small, or as compared to the previous candle, or we might see a exhaustion in the prices because it is showing that there is supply into the market, right? But yes, we need to keep this in mind that the inventory or the gasoline is going downwards, right? It's a good sign for natural gas. Then we have the 10-year tips option. It is also very important. Previously, it was 1.84, and we have seen a sudden spike, right? And with the 10 basis point, right, which is very high, right? So we have seen, but yes, this data is showing that US is ready to offer you higher interest if you give them the money. Now we need to see that how the market have responded to this, right? So if the response is bad, then gold prices will go up and dollar is going to go down, right? If they are not getting that much money after increasing the interest, right? And because of this, the bond yield are going to get rise, and it's a bad sign for the people who are holding the bonds, previous bonds, earlier bonds. Those who are holding, right, their bond yield are going down, right, just because new bonds are offering them a higher interest rate, right? Now come to today's data, right? So for in the Asian session, we have the Korean consumer confidence, right? Although that is not that much important because we are not trading into the Korean bonds. But yes, balance sheet is important, right? So previously it was 6.58 trillion and right now it's 6.59 trillion. So we need to see because US has settled a lot of its debt, right? And to calculate the debt, we need to see this, right? It is also freely available on the Federal Reserve website, right? Oh, from there you can download it, right? If you face difficulty, just message us. We have done the scrutiny of this, right? Then moving ahead, so we have the S&P Global Manufacturing PMI flash for the Australia, right? Because Australian pairs are getting very aggressive, right? We'll discuss today. We'll discuss the Australian pair also, right? And PMI figure above the 50 is a sign of that economy is expanding, and the same numbers, right? 52, 56, 55 years. So it's in an expanding mode. So the economy is going to perform very good because the gold prices are also going up, copper prices are also going up, and this country is one of the biggest supplier of the raw material of aluminum, that is the bauxite gold, right? They have mining industry. Then come to the Japan. So the inflation rate is previous it was 2.9%, right now it's 2.1%, which is a very good sign, right? So inflation is under the control. Previously, core inflation, if I talk about 3%, 2.4%. So all this news are showing me that everything is very good. But yes, on a month-on-month basis, if I take the inflation rate, so previously it was in positive figure, right now it is in negative figure, right? So inflation is going into the negative figure, but it's a month-on-month basis, and this is the latest data for the December month. So yes, this data is going to impact the market, right? And it is telling me that inflation, instead of inflation, we are having a deflation right now into the Japan, right? And Japanese government wants this, right? Because if they cut the interest rate, they want to increase the interest rates, right? And if there is deflation or negative inflation rate, so they can't do that, right? So we need to have a look on the JPY pair also, that how they have reacted, right? So if the market have reacted and pushed the JPY prices downwards or upwards, might there is a high probability that might be a reversal in the upcoming session, right? Then we have the GFK consumer confidence data. This is also very important data, right, for the UK. And we have seen that previously also it is a negative figure, although it have improved by negative 1 points, but still it is in negative. That means the confidence level is into negative. That means they are pessimistic about the growth of the UK. But we have seen a spike into the GBP USD pair, right? So this data is not aligning, but yes, we need to see that whether any kind of correction have came after this data, right? Moving ahead, so same is the PMI data here. S&P Global Manufacturing PMI data is here also. It is indicating that the Japanese economy is expanding, right? And whenever there is any economy is expanding, it is a very good sign to take long positions into that specific currency. Then we have the most important data for today for the Japan, that is the Bank of Japan interest rate, right? So previously also it was 0.75% and right now also it is 0.7. So there is no change, right? But uh, why? Because they have their inflation rate into negative. If this is in positive, then they are going to increase it, right? But yes, still they have the room to cut the interest rate, but they haven't done so, right? So we need to identify the news and why they are doing this, right? And whatever this kind of strategy any bank is using, this is called the YCC, which is the yield curve control, right? Which is very important to control the fluctuation, right? Abnormal fluctuation into their currency. So we need to see that. Same in the morning, we have the data for the HSB for India from the HSB Composite PMI, and it is showing tremendous or aggressive expansion in the economy. Then at 11, we have the retail sales data, right, which is just make me refresh it. I think it have been released. Okay, it haven't been released yet, right? So we need to wait. So retail sales data, previously it is in negative, and probability that it will come in negative only, right? Because economy is not performing that good, right? So we need to see that. Moving ahead, so we have the HCOB composite PMI. So all this data are from the European zone, and we need this data to come more than 50 for France also, for Germany also, and for European Union also. If this is the case, that means the economy is expanding and it is a right time to take buy calls in Euro pairs, right? But against which currency, that we have to decide, right? So we have seen that USD is getting weaker. So yes, we can take Euro USD, but Australia is getting very stronger as compared to the Euro odd. So in that, you need to avoid that. So this is the way you need to select your watch list for the day as per the data released, that right? And these are the data which are still pending to be released, right? Then same data we have for the GBP also, right? So this is very important. And then at 2 p.m. we have the President Lagarde speech, right? Which is very important right now. So we need to see that. And any country's foreign reserve data, if you have on your watch list, lot of the economic calendar give only single volatility start to this, but this is very important data, right? So previous foreign reserve for India is 687.19 billion, right? If their reserves are increasing, so they have very good PhDs who are doing all this or managing the reserve of the country. And if they are increasing their reserve, we need to find that in which specific segment. So they need to keep at least 40% of their reserve into the precious metals, right? Especially into the gold, right? So we need to see or we need to track that activity, right? So we can go to World Gold Council also and their central bank website also, right? So we need to see. And if they are increasing their reserve in terms of currency, so in which specific currency? So we'll not get the specific number, but we'll get the percentage that India is having 27% reserve in yuan, 27 or 16% result in Chinese renminbi, 16% reserve in euro. So we need to see, right? And we need to compare that data with the previous data, that in which specific asset class they have increased it. If they are buying it, we also need to buy that, right? That is the reason, because they find right now that suppose they have increased their reserve in terms of euro, right? Because India is structuring a deal with euro, right? Almost done. So they know that after this deal, the economic is going to perform very well. And this is the right time they are getting the currency at a cheaper price. So it's better to create the reserve right now. But yes, and for this, they are accumulating that thing right now, right? And if they do later, and later if they buy the euro, because of the economic expansion, euro is going to get increased. So we need to find that. And if this is the reason, and today we have this PMI data also, right? Along with this reserve data, both data are interrelated. If this thing is happening, we also need to follow the same step as the central banks are doing, right? And when we lot of people said that the big boys, the institutions. So in forex market, who are the biggest of all, right? So though these are the central banks, right? So if central banks are doing something, you need to follow the footsteps of central banks. Moving ahead towards the US session. So for the Canada, this is very important data, right? It will bring a lot of volatility into the market. Yesterday also, we have the Canadian data releases, and we have seen that the Canadian USD CAD have went down. That means the Canadian pair get the strength, right? Now we have to see the retail sales data, right? Previous figures are into negative, right? Apart from the November, right? So we need to focus on the December figure, especially, right? Because we don't know the November figure. These are the figures from the October, 2%, right? So we need to see that what is the number came in November, for November, and then what for December, right? And if there is an sign of increment or growth into this figure, it's a good sign. Okay, so and then same PMI data for the US. So this is the time, that is the 6:45 and 7 according to the IST I've taken, right? So this is the data which is going to impact the market today for sure, right? It will bring lot of volatility into the prices. That means the today's 13th candle is that candle, 13 and 14 candle, when this data is going to get released, right? So wait for this data to release, let the market react, and then after that you should take your positions, right? And previous figures, if we see, all these are in positive, and this is the latest data is to be released. Above 50, any number is good for US, right? So USD will gain strength, and if this is the case, might be possibility that gold might take a short-term correction towards the downside at the release of this data if data comes more than 50 figure, right? Then we have the Michigan 5-year inflation expectation data. This is also very important data, and this is a sentimental data, right? So Michigan Institute used to calculate this, so we need to see this, that right? So previous it was 3.2%. Now we need to see, right, that what people think, what experts think, that inflation in the upcoming future is going to rise or not. If inflation is going to rise, high probability either they need to cut the interest rate, and if they think the interest rates are still at a very higher price, so they will not cut the interest rate, which is a very good sign for gold, right? In current scenario. Then we have the rig count data. This is very important data, right? You need to track this, so you just need to click on this, so you will get how many rigs are active. That means how many machines are working to produce crude oil, right? If lot of machines are working, so they have ample of supply. We have seen shortages into the inventory data, right? So whether the new rigs are being activating or not, right? Then we have the Chinese FDI data, right? Previously it was in negative. Right now we need to see, right? If breaks and everything is going right, so high probability that majority of smart investors, I'm not talking about the individuals, I'm taking all at aggregate level. If they are smart, they are investing their money into the Chinese economy, right? Because they are continuously accumulating gold, right? And if BRICS nation came together and if they have their own trade system, so Chinese renminbi will be that currency who's going to be the reserve currency for all the BRIC nations. So we need to see that. So that's all from my side, right? So we'll see now. Let's move on to the uh, technical charts, right? So just give me a minute. Let me share you my screen. Now I hope everybody is having access to my screen. So this is the gold on the H1 chart, right? Previously we've been discussing, we have drawn this symmetrical triangle, right? And we've been expecting that yes, prices will come at the apex, and see how it have taken the support from the apex and went above, right? Right now, because sorry, prices have already given a very strong move for the upside, and right now it looks like that they are catching the breath, right? This is the day's high, right? This candle is the day's high, right? And this is the high of the Asian candle also. So today the best strategy would be that you should take the high and low of the Asian session and wait for the prices to break this session, right? And this is called the Tokyo box strategy, right? So this is very important, and because gold is trading as a all-time high, we don't have any reference point, right? So we need to see. So for this, you need to identify a candle which is having the highest high if compared to previous five candle, and the lowest low as compared to the next five candle. So I can find this candle over here, right? It is having the highest high, but at this candle, and this is the one, two, three, fourth candle. Yes, this candle is going to work. So this candle is having the highest high as compared to the previous five candle. And in the next five candle, the low of this candle have not been broken, right? So just mark this candle, and this would be your entry area. If prices went above, giving you a close in H1, right? Take a buy call right from the high of this candle. After the close, prices will come again at the tip of this, right? That means this area, and then you can take a buy call. And if prices gives you a close below the low of this candle, you can take sell call, keeping your stop losses above the high of this candle, right? But the probability of prices to go up is quite high, right? Although Friday session is quite sideways, especially, so you can take help of the pivot level also. But there is one disadvantage to use pivot today. because we have seen a unidirectional move yesterday in gold. So high probability that we might find a pivot level somewhere below the range of today's Tokyo session, right? So high possibility that we might find our pivot level somewhere at this level or this candle, right? So if you find a breakout of this area, right? So don't think that gold prices are going to get reversed from here, right? Yes, but if you are a intraday trader and you do scalping, right, for a very shorter period of time, you can take a sell call from here up to the level of the pivot, right? Because prices tend to trade at their pivot level, especially on Friday, and when we have lot of data. So today we have inline lot of data for the PMI, right? So market may react, right? And from the pivot level, if prices are being rejecting and getting a rebound for the upside, it's good time to take a buy call, right? And if you're not finding anything, it's better don't trade today, right? Friday is dangerous. If you get stuck into any positions, you need to pay 3 times the swap charges if you have that account. If you have a swap free account, then it's not an issue, right? But yes, this is a very important candle, right? But yes, in the next candle, if this kind of pattern happens, right, we find a very big candle. Now we need to see this candle and we need to watch the prices till next 5 hours. So this will be the candle which is having the lowest point, right? Lowest low as compared to the previous 5 candle. And in the next 5 candle, we want none of the candle to breach the high of this candle. If this happens, then we need to change our biasness towards the sell side, right? So this is called runway up. So we have a runway up candle over here, right? And if same kind of pattern have made right into the bearish tone that is over here, we call the runway down, right? So still we haven't have any thing, but yes, I have taken my call, right? I have taken my buy call and I'm holding that buy call. And to hedge or to lock my profit for the Friday, I have created one more position in buy and sell from here, right? By half lots, right? So this is the case for the gold. Let's have a look on the silver also. So same is the case with silver. Prices went above and right now at the high tip of this candle, still the prices are moving sideways, right? And the low of this candle is not being taken. That means still the bulls are very aggressive, right? So let's try to understand that how much movement I can expect into the prices. Although I'm very sure that silver prices is going to go up for sure above the $100. And mark my words, if today silver prices test the 99.75 level and given the close below the $100, on Monday again we'll have a gap up opening. Okay. And same is the case with gold also. We need prices to give a close above the 5,000 level. If somehow, if go they tested the 5,000 level, but given the close below the 5,000 level, high possibility that again on Monday we are going to have a gap up opening in gold, right? And same is the case with silver also. Now let me draw the Fibonacci expansion just to have an idea that whether the Fibonacci expansions are being respected by the market or not. If they so, right, so we are going to use the Fibonacci to see that what will be the next target area for the silver. So first to test the Fibonacci expansion, I'm taking this swing over here, right? This high and this correction, right? So I'll take this and draw my Fibonacci, right? Joining the fractal, right? I need a swing point. So see, prices have been respected the Fibonacci expansion 100 level and then again went up. And surprisingly, right now they are trading above the next Fibonacci, which is the 1.618. It is also golden ratio. And still they are sustaining its ground above this level. So high possibility, yes, the Fibonacci expansions are working. Now, I need to draw Fibonacci by taking this swing to find the next potential target area. So what I'll do, I'll put the same thing over here and like this. Okay. So right now they have surpassed the Fibonacci 61.8 level. They have tested the Fibonacci 100 level, right? So if prices went above, this will be my next target area, which will be at around 101.79, right? and high possibility that we might find prices at this level, right? And if we find a close at this level, then there will be no gap up. Then chances of a gap down is very high. Okay. And all the mass hysteria is also supporting. My RSI is also at a very higher level of 89, right? And continuously it's being at a higher level. It is an indication of a strong bullish trend, right? That means they have lot of strength, right? If I see the ATR value, so again the ATR value is also getting a rebound, right? Right now it is quite flat, going downwards, but again there is high possibility that it may rise. And if I see the current ATR value also, so it is of 80 pips, right? So if you are taking any kind of positions, right, you need to keep your SL more than 80 pips, right, for silver. So this is the case with silver. Now let's move on to the US oil, right? So we've been expecting the prices to go up, right? But yesterday we have seen a fall into the prices, right? And we have seen the stock exchange, oil stock exchange data, right? So prices went down, taken a correction, then again getting a rebound, right? So if I see and if I draw a trend line over here, right? So this would be my trend line, right? Okay, this would be my trend line, right? And those who have taken buy, right? So their liquidity have been swept out, right? A very strong move, a short correction, then a very short move, but very strong correction. It is an indication of a reversal in the change, right? Uh, those who use SMC, they call it CISD, right? Change in stock delivery, right? So you need to watch the prices, but yet still I am very much towards the buy side, right? And I'm expecting prices to go up. So let me remove all these arrows, right, to make the things quite clear. Okay. And this is the symmetrical triangle of the yesterday, right? Prices have given us a break of this area, right, over here. So I've been expecting that prices might test this area, and the 60.73 is the apex area, 60.729, right? So the possibility is that if prices reaches this level, they will face difficulty in breaking this level, and then again they'll come down, right? But yes, if we see that we have a lower fractal, we have a higher fractal, and right now it is this candle might be, if next two candles are aggressive towards the buy side, this candle will be the pivotal area, right? Pivotal low, right? Or the swing low. And we can take a buy call for the upside, right? For the test of this area. So this is my biasness, right? If I see the RSI over here, so again, I can find the bullish divergence over here, right? See, lower low formations over here. We have the higher low formations, low and the higher low, right? So it's a bullish divergence. But I need that, yes, prices went up. I need a correction, right? So I'm waiting for that correction to happen. Once that correction is done, then if again prices are getting the momentum for upside, I'll take a buy call, right? So, and to find that area, we can use the low and the high of this area, and we need to wait for the prices, right? So till the 50 area, if things are good, prices went down, and again, if they are rising their head above the water levels, right, which is my 50 level, so I'll take a buy call and keeping my stop losses below the low of the area, right? Whatever low I find over this area, right? Now let's move on to the next part. I think over here the things are clear, right? And the reason why I'm discussing everything on the H1 chart, because today is Friday and I won't suggest you to hold any position into your account for a very longer period of time. So think only for taking intraday profits. Try to make some dollars, right? And once you get the dollar, go and party and enjoy your weekend. Now comes to the Dow Jones, right? So this is quite challenging, right? Still, they are trading at an all-time high, right? We've been seeing that yesterday also. We have seen a very, they have given a very aggressive move. Then again, we have seen the exhaustion. But still, by looking at the current price, so we have this engulfing, and I have told you that whenever I find a engulfing pattern, right, which is very strong, which successfully surpasses the previous candle also like this, right? So in the upcoming candles, high probability that prices might take a reversal, right? So I am still towards the sell side. I'm not taking or I'm not in favor of holding a very long position into the indices, right? Yes, there are a lot of highs and exhaustions. I can see lot of liquidity is resting. Those who have taken the sell call, so prices might be possibility, but with very low possibility that it may hunt the stop losses above the high of this candle. But yes, I am towards the sell side. I wait for the prices to hunt the liquidity, and once I find any kind of weakness, I'll again short the Dow Jones toward the downside. So I'm not in favor of buy, especially into this. So this is onto the daily time frame. Now let's have a look, more microscopic look for the intraday purpose. So this is previous day's candle, right? Over here we have seen the exhaustion. Again, the buyers have pulled it, right, with a very decreasing volume, right? And then again the prices went down. Then again they have tried to move up. So I have a high point, then I have a low point, then I have a higher lower low, right? Lower high formations over here. Now I am waiting. Still the prices are trading sideways. The distance between the moving averages of the alligator is quite high. So reversal is not looking that promising. So I need to wait for the prices and high probability at the time when we have this data releases from the US, we will find the opportunity. So till the time, don't waste your time in analyzing the chart of indices. Just before the data release, prior to that data release and prior to the US Open, come to the chart, you'll find very good opportunity. And till the time, if you find prices below the this red line, right, this red moving averages, think of taking a sell, right? If you find prices sustaining its ground above this moving average area, think of taking a buy and support the market players to hunt the stop losses, right? So this is the case for the indices, right? Now I'll take odd USD, right, just to give you an idea, because Australian pairs are getting aggressive very strongly, right? So this is the H1. Let's have a look on the daily time frame. See the strength in the candles, right? And all the data which are coming from the Australia, especially the macroeconomic data is supporting it, right? And see, because the Australian players are in a very strong upward trend, and that is the reason the 50 area is right now acting as a oversold area. When you are in a very strong trend, right, first you need to identify the trend, draw the trend line, right? So it will be ascending trend line. So whenever you find that prices are testing the trend line and at the same time prices are testing the 50 level, take that 50 level as your oversold area, right? And as soon as the correction is done and then again the prices are rising its head above the 50 level, you should take a buy call, right? That means the trend is going to get continued, right? And in this scenario, you can use the ADX also to understand that how much is the strength, right? And the second thing to measure the strength of a trend or the health of a trend is that what is the size of that impulsive movement and how much the correction have taken. If the correction is very deep, that means the trend is getting weaker. Simple logic, right? But yes, the candle is right now small, but yes, I am bullish towards the Australian dollar. So this is on a daily time frame. Let's have a look on the H1, right? So this is the highest point of from the Australia. Prices went down and again they are heading upwards. Although the size of the candle is very small, that means that is an indication the momentum is quite low. But yes, if we see the RSI have given me the divergence. That divergence have been failed. Those who have traded this divergence, their stop losses are resting over here, and right now the prices are going upwards to hit their stop losses. So it is the right time to take a buy call from now only for the Australian pairs, right? But yes, you need to have patience because the size of the candles are very small. You can get a 25 pips of movement for sure into the Australian pair from right now. Second thing which is giving me a lot of confidence is that the my alligator indicator all are pointing upwards with a very good difference, right? So there is a divergence into the in between the moving averages, right? So this is also very good, right? So it is also an indication that yes, I might take a buy call, right? And the fundamental data is also supporting everything, right? Now let's take the BTC USD, that is the crypto, and that is the last segment of our report. So this is the yesterday's price movement. Here my analysis totally went wrong, right? So not totally went wrong, but I'm not expecting that deep correction, right? Yes, I have drawn the Fibonacci over here, right? And we've been expecting, I given the arrow which I've deleted, right? That prices might continue to go upwards, right? Now, this is the order flow which I have, this three green candles, right? The three white soldiers. Prices have been taken a correction exactly at the 61.8 level, the golden ratio, right? And from here, I can see that prices have been spiked up, right? But the momentum is quite low. So let me see, just focus on this area, right? So let me draw the trend line, right? This is the current trend line. This is the first swing. This is the second swing. And all these swings are happening closer to each other. It is an indication of a weaker trend, right? So I'm waiting that yes, high probability prices again go down, hunt the stop losses of below the low of this candle, right? So till the time I am bearish for the pairs, and once the stop loss have been hunted, and if prices are getting rejected, then I'll take a buy call for the long term. I want prices to go above the high of this candle, right? So still these buyers are very aggressive and sellers are continuously supplying, right? But they haven't tested the low of this candle. That means the buyer are so strong that whatever supply is coming into the market, they are absorbing every supply. They have lot of demand. That is the reason prices are facing lot of difficulty in pushing the prices downwards, right? Over here we have three white soldiers. Here we have three black crows formations, right? Three consecutive candles which are successfully renewed their low, right? And still, so the clearance of this area, so this area will be the activity area for me, right? This, and still the prices are trading in this range. So once this area is being cleared, and if this is cleared for the upside, I'll take a buy call for a very longer period of time. That means a swing call I'll hold that call for 2 3 weeks, right? And if prices went below this and give me the close, then I wait for the break of this area, right? This with strength, once the strength of the bulls are being broken, then I think of taking a sell. Till the time, right now, there is no clear direction in the pairs, right? So that's all for my side. I have covered each and every market segment along with the market structures and what kind of market symmetry we have seen into the prices and what kind of directions and hindsights they are giving us. So we need to keep that in mind and remember today is Friday, right? Friday is a quite volatile day as compared to other weekdays. So have patience. For odd USD, we are very strong. For gold and for silver, I've given you what is the scenario for gap ups, right? And what are the expectations for the all-time high. So we have discussed that also. For the US oil, we have also discussed. For Wall Street, also discussed that there is stop loss hunting is being going on. If you're getting this trend for the upside, try to support them to hunt the stop losses, and once from there, from the all-time high, if you find the rejection into the prices, taking a sell call would be very good. So that's all for my side, right? We'll meet again on Monday and we'll see. Right, till the time, if you have guys have any doubts, so we have a Telegram channel also, and you have contact of your relationship manager if you want to discuss anything, and if you want more insights from our side and want to have a one-on-one session. So this is the beauty of Human Capital, that we have a dedicated team of CMTs researchers, right, who are always available to help you with all your queries and giving you the insights. Even if you have your stuck positions, so we'll help you in finding that what is the right approach so that you can get rid of those stuck positions, right? So that's all for my side. I hope you have enjoyed today's sessions and gained lot of important insights, right? So that's all for my side. I thank you all for attending the today's sessions, And I request all of you to kindly leave the Google Meet room. Till the time, have a blasting weekend, and may my insights will help you in accumulating lot of dollars for day. So this is Anurag, sign off for today. Thank you. Bye bye.